Hey guys, Jack Boyles with Steam Engines USA, and today I'm going to be doing something that I've been wanting to do for the last 2 years. This is my Jensen 50, built in 2016. Picked it up on October 31st, 2016, and yes, that is right, that was Halloween from Jensen Manufacturing. This is the number 4 on the new run of Jensens that they started building. I believe so far there's been 18 sold and 24. There's 6 more in the process of being built right now. This one right here is what we believe is a 1967 mid to late 60s Jensen 50 as well. This one has a cast iron generator base. The water cup is sitting on the board on this model. On the 2016 and some of the I guess later versions, there was a little tripod built for the little water tower. So they're very similar. They both have the same size boiler, 3 window sight glasses. The engine itself is the same. Cylinder, fuel, steam line, throttle valve, water pump, the flywheel. All of the components are the same. The governor is just a little bit different, if you can see between the two. But all in all, these are pretty much the same line, different era. So 1960s, late 1960s. And the latest run's 2016. This boiler has a bolt through the center with nuts on the end. That was part of holding it together just when it was being built. They both have pop-up valves, pressure gauges, and a whistle. This choff pot was built by Jeff Swell from Australia. He goes by the name of Steam Demon. I also have a water tower and another choff pot that he has built. So today, going back to this engine, I've never run this engine. It's been brand new from the day I bought it. Got a little catch base in there. So we are going to run the new Jensen Model 50, and then we're also going to run the 1960s Jensen Model 50. So I'm going to fill them up with some distilled water and we'll come back. To fill these up, we remove the pop-up valve, put a funnel in there, and then I'll fill it up with distilled water. The importance is not to use tap water because there are minerals and elements inside of the tap water that can corrode the inside of these boilers. So a lot of people would do that. I prefer to use distilled water. So we're going to fill these up and then I will come back. Alright, so I've filled up the boiler, and then once I have the boiler filled up, then we're going to fill up the water cup. Okay, so I fill up each one of those. Got this one over here filled up. So now I'm going to put our pop-up valves back on the boilers. Just snug. You don't want to over torque these. It's not the purpose, not to torque them down, it's just to be snug. The whistles, you want to close the whistles. Make sure those are closed. Your throttle valves, make sure those are closed, because we want to build up pressure inside of the boiler. I've put oil on the axle, all the eccentrics, this slide on the cylinder, all the moving parts, we oil them. I've got some of the Steam Engines USA. This is a Steam Engine cylinder oil 460. So I'll come over to do the same. All the oil points, we'll make sure that they're nice and oiled up. Friction is bad for any type of steam engine or engine, so we want to make sure they're good and oiled. And so now that that's done, I'm going to plug in. We'll plug them in and watch our gauges to come up to temperature and check for any leaks. So we'll be back in just a few moments. Excuse me, just a few moments. Alright, so it's been about 2 minutes, and if you can hear, the boiler's heating up and it's starting to boil the water inside of there. It'll start creating some steam. So both boilers are warming up. So we'll be back in just a few minutes. Should take about 5 minutes or so, and we should be getting up to steam. Alright, so the 1967 Jensen 50 is coming up to steam already. Our 2016 is still warming up, so we will be ready to go here in just a moment. We'll give it another few minutes and then we'll come back. Alright, so still waiting on pressure to come up on the new one. We're up to 10 pounds of pressure, so we will go ahead and start. This one does have 3 heating elements in it, so it does make a little bit of difference. So we'll open up the throttle valve. Yeah. See if we can get her to fire up here. Alright. There we go. Got our chop pot going. Generator spinning. I'm going to disconnect one of the heaters. That'll back us down, keep our steam pressure pretty consistent. Pounds. She's trucking along, starting to pull the water down. So we'll slow our 1960s generator, 1960s Jensen down. Alright, and we're going to fill up the water cup, make sure we keep plenty of water in it, and then I'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, and we're back. Our 2016 Jensen 50 is coming up to steam, and I actually made a little error. I've got one of the volt control, let's see here, what's it, the Variac. I had to think about it for a second. And then I have a secondary switch, and I forgot to cut my secondary switch on, so I wasn't sending any power to it. So as you can see, we're coming up to steam now. We're up to almost 5. Got the whistle up here. So everything's looking pretty good. Let's see. We'll spin her over. interesting to see at what point she comes up to the power under steam. So we're at 4 pounds right now. So let it get on up to steam a little bit. So this will be the first time at Steam Engines USA that we've had both Jensen 50s running, and this is the first steam up of our brand new Jensen Model 50. So got our pressure gauge coming on up. We're at 5 pounds. Zoom out here just a little bit. All right. So we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, I think we're ready to go. We've up to about 10 pounds of pressure now. So we're going to open up the throttle valve just a little bit and give her a spin. Alright. So we are off and running now. Generator's going. We are steaming, ladies and gentlemen. So 2 Jensen 50s steaming simultaneously at Steam Engines USA. We'll slow them down. I'll tell you, it's just a beautiful sight. I'm rather fond of Jensen manufacturing and these Jensen 50s. This is the first steam up of both engines running simultaneously. Super excited. So we see our water levels being pulled down. So the water comes in through the water pump and is then pushed into the boiler. So I'm going to fill that cup back up. I'll come right back. Alright, we're back. I had my wife and daughters come down and play with the steam engines, and this one's got a pretty loud whistle. I unplugged both heaters for just a short period of time because I was getting up to about 20 pounds, and then now we're back down to 2 heaters, and we're running about 7 to 9 pounds. That's where it's averaging. So pretty awesome. This is my first steam up with this Jensen 50 that was built in 2016. So I'm pretty excited about that. I just happened to be running it with a second Jensen 50 that I purchased earlier this year. This engine has been sold to a good friend of mine who's very excited to get it. So I thought while I've got both of them here, it would be a shame to not have them running at the same time. So here we are. Alright, well, I'm going to end this video. Thank you guys and ladies out there for watching. Steam Engines USA from High Point, North Carolina. We have a 2016 Jensen Model 50, number 4 out of 18 that have been built and sold so far. And over here we have a 1967 Jensen Model 50 with the cast iron base generator. There were about 250 to 300 of these built over the years from late 30s, 40s, all the way up till the 80s. When they discontinued, they quit making them, and then they brought them back in 2016. So I consider it a privilege to be able to have both of these at the same time in our collection. And I will kind of spill the beans. I have a very big Jensen that I'll be picking up this weekend, and I'll just leave it at that. So we'll be having a follow-up video, and I'm very much looking forward to sharing that Jensen with you as well. So from SteamEnginesUSA.com, Jack Boyles in High Point, North Carolina. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe.